Hey guys, and happy Tuesday to you all. I'm going to close my email so it won't be in the middle of this all the time. Yeah, well, my Tuesday's going good. I got coffee. We're good. It's always a good day when you have coffee. I do feel like, now that I've done this light is just a little too bright. I wonder if I can set this while we're sitting here chatting today. I have a series of routines for these lights, and I feel like this one's just bright. So I'm going to go ahead and see what my broadcast routine looks like and fix it. How are you doing out there, Brent? How's your day going so far? Because I'm kind of looking at this here and thinking I've got a broadcast one here which talks about how bright these lights are. And desktop light 100%. Doesn't need to be 100%. It could be 50%. I've done this before, and now I'm kind of pretty sure that I've got this figured out. Let's check it real quick to make sure. That's better. It even could probably... Oh, good. You know, I like it when I wake up early. I get so much work done waking up early, and I'm not a morning person. But I'll get up early, and I'll just get so much work done. And it's like, well, that's... So I completely understand. I like getting up early. It doesn't happen enough, but I like it. So, one of the things I've done today's show is I've added the attribution to the music so that, because the music's created by Kevin MacLeod, who is part of Incomptech.com, and he does some great music, and I love the music that he does, so I just added it in. I'm wondering, yesterday's show got pulled from YouTube, so I'm wondering if that was it. Maybe there's not proper attribution or something. So it's the only thing I can think of. Because, I mean, other than maybe they're looking at this like she cut her hand off, which does kind of look like that. But the truth is, it's only that way because we haven't gotten to the hand, because I haven't decided what to do with the hand. So I'm going to try this here and see what happens. Update that routine here. See if I'm still messing with my lights here. Yeah, that's much better. Not quite so. You can still see just fine. I'm not blurry or anything. I'm not even, so. Oh, the video is back up on YouTube. In other words, because I protested it, and they came back with we've reviewed it, and we still think it violates community standards. And I'm like, how? So, must have been needing a human to come in and take a look at it. So that's the only thing I could think of. Because I'm like, I don't violate community standards. I could understand if this was a political broadcast or something, but it isn't. It's not really political at all. Okay, so today is going to be a let's do this speed paint thing and do it somewhat right, because we didn't. I got started in the wrong way, and I'll show you what I'm talking about here. Okay, so we'll start here. Now, when we had this before, I was doing skeletons and things like that under here to kind of get an idea of where things were going, and all I was really getting was deeper and deeper into the weird abyss of I have no earthly idea what the heck I'm doing. So, if we start with the premise that we know what the mission is of this, it becomes a lot easier for us. So let's talk about this. So instead of coming up with a, I wonder what's happening, which is what we did. Right? We're like, I wonder what's going on here. When we know what's going on, she's deflecting a hit from a sword. So let's go ahead and fix this. Right? There's two things we're gonna fix. One, I did all of this painting on the background layer. I don't know. I wasn't doing good yesterday. Yesterday was not a good day for me. I woke up late for one and just didn't sleep well. So life's getting kind of rougher as you get older. I noticed it's harder to sleep, and I don't know. So, but today I'm feeling pretty ganky and pretty good. I'm ready to go. So let's take a look and let's break this character down. So what we've got is force coming from one side, right? We've got force coming in from over here. That it's probably actually an overhead strike of some sort. So if you look at the character and then think maybe she's got a shield, because I would have a shield. We could be talking about a shield right here. And that'll be the point of impact for her. And in fact, we could be doing so her head would be here. Her shoulders are hunched up because she's taking the impact. Here's her arm that's holding the shield. And we'll double check this by making sure this is what we're looking for as far as the skeleton on this, right? She's taking the impact right here on the shoulder like any good fighter would. She's got this sword down and chambered. So what I'm looking at here, though, is a difference in this line of attack. That's what I'm actually working on here, is that line of attack right there. That's what I'm mostly trying to figure out. The action line on this is right through here. So we're going to put the hip here and then talk about what might be happening. Now, if we wanted to bend the action line this way, right through here, we could put her chest here, her hip flipped up like this, like she's putting a leg forward to deflect it. Right? Everything's on this leg going this way. We've got one leg up here. This is like such a classic superhero pose that I'd almost be tempted to make it so that this is Wonder Woman, right? This is so classic. In fact, this could be a Wonder Woman, and I think that'd be funny if she had a mortar shell deflected right now into her shield, right? That's what she's defending against. It's Wonder Woman. She could stop a mortar shell. Right? Okay. Now, making sure that my action line continues like this, that's going to be the important thing. So we're looking at the skeleton of this. All right, let me do that. Now, looking at the action line here, that's what I'm really working on, because it's going to put her head here. I mean, because she's still Wonder Woman. She's Wonder Woman, yes, but a mortar shell hitting her shield is still going to make her bunch up. Yes, she may be Wonder Woman, but there's a certain amount of human nature to these things. And this leg then can come out as she deflects that hit. So, and she's taking that hit. This hit's going to come across her entire body. So let's look at the structure of her body coming out like this. That's going to put this arm down, this like here even. I truly appreciate the fact that you went and looked at that for me. I do appreciate that a lot. Thank you very much, Brent. That's a good thing to do. So, okay. She's got this mortar shell that's now struck her shield, right? And bang, smacked her shield good. The important thing about this is going to alter and shift this rib cage. Right? Puts it more like this. Your hip is down like this and turned a little. And she deals with having to really take the brunt of that impact. And this puts there you go. I don't know what the heck they were doing. That was the second ding for me too. Earlier I was having a discussion with a friend of mine and Facebook pulled the comment. So I'm apparently just running afoul of all of social media these days. I feel like I want to make this more dramatic. So I'll bring her knee up like this just to make it more dramatic. Alright, give her skirt kind of doing this number. Give me some pointers of where that skirt's going to end up being. And then her head bowed down like this. She's just being a general badass because that's who she is. And then we'll come across here with her shoulder. And again, we'll build in the anatomy. Right? We'll build that anatomy in. The deltoid and then the bicep. And this is Wonder Woman, so she has some serious muscles going for her. Right. So we're working now on just building in the anatomy for this. I feel like her entire body is tilted to one side. So let's look again at our underlying anatomy. I'm pretty happy with everything but her hip now. I mean, this is pretty good, but I feel like we need to kind of go this way more with her. Like she's sort of scrambling to keep stable on this one. There's a calf back here. All right. I mean, she is getting hit with a mortar round. She's taking that mortar round right on the shield here. So I'll deflect the mortar round. wrong brush for this. I am already telling. I don't like this brush. I'll go for this brush. Oh, pencil brushes. So what have I got pencil brushes for? They need to be big pencils. Big pencils. The best thing about superheroes is that they do things. The picture itself tells us an interesting story because it's a superhero. What is she doing taking a mortar around on a shield, right? I mean, normal people don't take mortar rounds on shields, but superheroes do. So we can at least kind of get a fascinating, already pre-existing concept going on here. Alright. It's just taking this right on the shield here. Alright. We'll do this. There we go. Just like that. Alright. Now I kind of feel like, even though we're doing great here, I feel like this needs to be more like this. And then I can add more of her leg down here. And in this instance, even though my action line goes kind of more like this now, I want it to bend backwards. I want it to go more like this now. This is the action line I'm trying to follow, which means I'm going to be adjusting her chest to follow that action line more. That gives more fluidity to this picture, and it's going to make this much more dynamic. I want this action line to go this way and then this way, through here and then back here. So let's take a look at this. It's going to give it much more motion and more movement as soon as I move that action line over. Coming through here. Alright. Put this through here. And let's take some of this blue out. Make sure that we're doing what I'm after. I feel, looking at this, that even now, I feel like her hip could probably be further back. So let's talk about my action line, which is still through here like this. I put one part of her hip here. We're going to have to put the other part of her hip here. Right? So here's that crossbar. Now put this leg back quite a bit, like this. It's almost like she's taken a knee. Just looking at this. It's like she's down on one knee. I'm afraid that this front knee is part of our problem. And can I put her foot here and then run her calf like that? Like, is this... I mean, because she could just be down. She's taking a mortar shell, so she could just be down. But I feel like if that happens, we have weight here. And that's going to put the hips like this. right? And that's part of it. Because I feel like we've got weight distribution problems here. Okay. But the story here that we're telling is that she's taking a mortar shell. So there's no other reason for us to have anything else in this picture doing anything other than that. So she could be putting her hand down like this to steady herself as that mortar shell hits her. So let's talk about this. First of all, let's look at the anatomy. The body is going backwards here. It's going away from us. So in theory, this hip could be right here. At which time, this is where this other knee is. It's right here in the dirt. Right? Let's give her the rest of her hip. She does need that. So this is where your other knee is. It's right here. Right? Now she's looking more correct. Bringing up the anatomy on this. There we go. Right? She might be. So we're looking at this and saying if she's being knocked over, then the other leg might be under her or out straight to the side and at a brace. I agree. I think actually I imagine her running, right? She was running along. She saw the mortar shell coming up on her. And so she put the shield up to brace and it's putting her down. You know, it's like, bam, it's putting her down. So I like the idea of crunching her body up, though. I mean, she's taking a hard hit right here on this shoulder blade, and she's a superhero, so she can do it. It's one of the reasons why I like Wonder Woman. But yeah, I'm like, I like and maybe we need more extension here on this side of this rib cage. But either way, I think you're right. I think this foot's going to be out like this to give her a brace. She may have gone down on this knee, but let's look at the weight and distribution of this. All of this is coming down here. Everything, all of the weight, all of the body is coming down on this knee. So this impact is coming down here, and it's going to try to push her this way, so she's going to have to put her arm out to stop it. Which makes sense. Because everything's coming down here, but she's going to have a lot of side motion going this way. There we go. Digging in right here. Right here. I am totally a troublemaking subversive. Hello, Landauer. How you doing, man? Good to see you. I'm totally subversive. Look at me subversively drawing Wonder Woman. I mean, How more subversive could you be than to draw Wonder Woman? So, going out here, I think I'm going to have to resize this because I think I'm about to leave my work zone here with my sketch, which is all right. So, we've got her hand going out like this. There we go. It's splaying out. Right? Because it's totally going to fall apart. This shell is totally going to fall apart and just rain mess all over the place. She's going to have such a rough day. It's a good thing she's a superhero. There we go. Just put this out here like this. Fold her foot over as she goes down. I feel like I kind of want to turn this entire structure over, like more like this. Right? Let's move. She's going to be super hot after this fragmentation goes off on her. It'll be very hot. Like set fire to the grass around her. Hot. This huge explosion right here. I love Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman's one of my favorite DC. If you ask me who's my favorite DC character, I'm going to have to say it's Wonder Woman. And the movie, being one of the few really good DC flicks, and I don't know why DC's having so much trouble with this. The movie was wonderful in a lot of ways. It was, just revitalizing this character from it really played up the Amazon part a lot more, and I thought that certainly helped. Helped her character quite a bit. Put this in here like this. Her foot's gonna be down, but let's just make sure that it's secure. Now I feel like we have more of yeah, or it could just be a shell from, World War I, which not more than really, a gunpowder propelled trebuchet. Which, considering that DC started as Detective Comics, that's actually very logical. Brent's saying DC is more of a whodunit style comic, and Marvel's more of a hero type. So when they moved Wonder Woman over to being more of a hero, it changed the whole thing, but it turns it away from the whodunit story. Which I will agree with that. I can see quite a bit of what, that kind of logic there. That certainly is true. I liked she had this leather-like skirt, which made much more sense, logically speaking, as far as what she would be wearing than her little mini skirt she was wearing in like the original comics. Although, it's the Doc Manhattan rule. really, Doc Manhattan doesn't need to wear clothes. So, and he's Superman. What does he need clothes for? And why should he care? And he doesn't. There's some fascinating arguments there with Doc Manhattan. Okay. Now, being aware that I have twisted her upper torso quite a bit by doing this, we're going to have to do some work around. Right. But that's the thing, right? Doc Manhattan. So he doesn't, it's not important to him to wear clothes. And it's very much the same thing. I actually feel like she's going to put her leg straight down. Straight down like this. So, and then I'm going to put this guy right here. I'm not quite happy with my anatomy yet. We're still not there. It's not popping. Right? I feel like we're still flat somewhere. Like this leg's not quite going where it's supposed to. Protrusions? You talking about her outfit? So, there's another fun one. You're talking about lace. And there's another interesting Marvel subunit that I like, which is, it's arsenic and old lace. Oh, yes. It's a Roman design. This will give us some action here. All right. And now we've got her. So the uniforms that they put on here often help make the character. Right? So when we get closer to actually putting her in the uniform, it makes the character. I'm going to fold this guy forward like this. So, there we go. Just cleaning up the truges. Anyway, there we go. Make them kind of... And they're actually banded together, too. To some degree. I'm going to actually bend this. I feel like this leg needs to come out further. It needs to counter this impact quite a bit. So we're going to move it out like this. And that makes this work a whole lot better. And then I'll put the leg out like this. And move over here. But I do feel like this is not coming around forward enough now. So I spend a lot of my time. This is one of the reasons why I like to use DAZ Studio for this. I would have already been done with this stage, and it wouldn't be that big of a deal. You know what I mean? We'd be done, we'd be moving on to the next stage. But two things. One, don't want to get banned from YouTube again, because of course that'd be computer generated nudity. Definitely get me banned. But two, I want to prove that we can do this. You know what I mean? Let's make sure we can do this thing. So let's fix this. Let's keep working on the let's keep working on the anatomy until it's good. We'll put her hands like this. Yarg. Yarg. Like she's like seriously putting down hands and splaying them out, and we'll do that. Super dramatic. Again, you're going to have to bring it down a little bit to make this work. But as I dink with this a little bit more, we're getting a much more dynamic feel out of this picture every pass, right? I'm pushing the artwork more and more. And with each pass, we're pushing this artwork into much more dramatic territory, right? So I keep moving it out a little bit further each time. I'm sure that there will come a point where I have pushed too far. But today is not that day. Twist the knee structure a little bit. There we go. Push back over here. Come back around like this. And pushing the stress in on the foot on her toe. Like her big toe is digging in to hold this. And we may even put piled up dirt right here because she's moving sideways. You know, like she is digging in hard to take that hit. And so she's going to be really working hard to take that hit across this body structure here, like right across here. So we want to make sure we mimic this line. Because I really want desperately to draw her body flush here, but this arm is up. And I know that if I don't do this right, if I don't remind myself that this arm is up and our stress lines across this body kind of look like this, I'm going to end up drawing her outfit in an inappropriate way, I'm sure. I'll do this. This finger down like that right there, and this finger here, and that finger there, and it's too big. Even though now is the time. Now we have gone too far. Dramatic, yes. That dramatic, no. All right. I'm now feeling like this is super dramatic and looks cool. Her fingers are super dramatic and they look cool too. And she's putting everything down right here. Whomp, whomp, whomp. Now what I don't like is this back leg. Let's fix this back leg. Back to the back leg. Because even though I do think it's going to be like, going more this direction, I also feel like we've got a lot of stress on the structures here. So we're going to look at the structure here. Her hips coming in, then out to her thigh. Right? Out to her thigh. And then here's her knee and the kneecap. Put this foot right here. There we go. And then this guy can go like this, and this guy can go like this, and this guy can go like this. Move this outward. Your belt's going to go like that. And this guy will go like this, and we'll have conflicting belts, right? So we'll have this piece there, this piece there. There's a lot of chaos going on right here for this. As she goes down on one knee for this. Now I need to give her more shoulder, just a little bit more shoulder. Because like I said, she's bunched up. She's totally bunched up. So let's look across the clavicles here. One clavicle this way, one clavicle this way. She's totally bunched up. Everything she's doing here is all bunched up. There's her bicep. Put one breast there. And one, I don't know, right through here in this structure. And this will allow me to do this. And then up through the middle for that peak piece that's in the middle of her casement there. Okay. Now we're getting there. My original head cross puts her head sideways. Well, let's take a look at a little bit like this. Let's discuss this. First of all, I feel like it's too small. So let's increase its size just a hair. Right to right there. We're still on the... There we go. So, we should have done this yesterday with the other drawing that I was working on, and we didn't, and that's okay. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. So let's talk a little bit about where we're going with this. Now, if we are dealing with, is she like going to be doing this number turned sideways? And does this work? There she is, kind of. It hurts. Right? I'm going to put her tiara on her. There we go. And this is the question we're looking at here. Does this work? I think that's working. I feel like this is working just fine. I'll give her kind of wild hair going one direction. Because she's kind of having issues with everything going this way across the artwork, right? We've got an explosion going this way effectively. We'll put some of these hairs across her face even. Yeah, kind of got like serial mode going on. Anytime you get hit with, like, this mortar shell is going to have this ring of destruction and echoing off that shield. So we're going to do that with this part of her hair just folding back over. And in the front here, kind of doing this number. All right. So, I'm going to get ourselves an onion skin. And let's start talking about where we're going to ink in on this. If we're going to ink in on this. But let's talk about it. And the truth is, we need to kind of get an idea of what Wonder Woman looks like to some degree. Because we will definitely need that effect here. Let's get Wonder Woman up on my phone. Let me take a look at this. I'll do Wonder Woman. I'll do images from Wonder Woman and I'll get an idea of what her outfit looks like. Interestingly, she's wearing a different outfit in her promo posters, which I find very fascinating. I'm also trying to put her in. This is more of her movie attire. All right. Okay. Here's what we're doing. We're going to move in like this. So, first things first, let's correct her tiara. Well, first things first, let's correct her tiara. I'll take these away for right now because I want to actually correct stuff. We'll get a smaller pencil. We're going to work a lot tighter now. Her tiara comes up like this, and to a point like this. And she has a star right here. All right. This tiara goes all the way to the top band of, or this band goes all the way to the top and then goes this way. And then she has a second band which goes underneath it like this. There we go. And that's actually how her tiara works. And there's another band in here like this, but we're not going to see that because of the nature of things. So then her hair actually does have a part right just above it. So right here is where her part of her hair is. Move that around. Okay, good. Now that we've done that, I'm going to do the eyes come through like this. Her eyebrow comes out like this. And there we go. We'll just put in this eye to kind of get an idea of where her eye is. Alright, and this eye is going to do the same thing. And over here. There we go. Now, you'll notice that in a lot of the speed paints, this stuff is already done. And there's a reason for that. This is boring. So, you can sort of see why many people skip this part of the speed paint. Because we're actually not going to ink on this at all. This isn't a comic. This is a speed paint, right? So we just want points to tell us where her body marks are, like her eyes and stuff like that. We don't need more than that at this point. Then we go down and we look at this brassiere, which is an eagle or a bird of some sort coming up and then over like this. The wings go up and then over. Like so. And then up and over. And this guy also has a number of points. Like this is gold through here. Those wings do this till they don't. There's an awful lot of really fascinating stuff going on with her outfit, right? I mean, I find all of this stuff fascinating through here. Like a lot of things going up and over, and they cross. And the bands cross each other. And there's one band that goes all the way down like this and crosses each other. Like that. The question is, where does this end up out here? Right? Because now, when we go out across the breast area here, there are these lines that go like this, and like this, and like this. The same thing over here. But I feel like the tilt of her body, these are more straight, like this, and like this, and like this. Like that. And I feel like this actually comes up all the way to there. All the way to here. And I was looking at just the picture I've got here of Gal Gadot. What I've got is this part comes up almost all the way to her armpit. certainly covering all of that area through here. And putting her fist right here, she holds this shield up. And that, bam, right into the shield. Ring. Just a harrowing sound. Bam. And then when we're down here, we've got this belt, which comes across like this, and it has the Wonder Woman logo on it. And then her Tarouges down here. And then, which we have learned today, our word for the day is Tarouges. Actually, it comes on these like this, and then comes across like this. There we go. Now we're much better off. I feel like my microphone's still low. Do you guys feel like my microphone's low? Should I turn it up a little more? And we were at a point where, there we go. See, I was on the board before at yellow, and now I'm feeling like it's not yellow. I'm not even at yellow. I'm barely making a green flicker on my board. Okay, well, if I sound good, I know I'm like really quiet over here whenever I start working really tightly into this drawing, so I don't want to disappear from the discussion. This actually goes that way, which is part of our problem right here. There we go, more like that. I feel like we also have like a lasso, her lasso, flying out like this, right? It's the nature of things. This is, she's taking a serious like hit over here. So showing some of this with things like the Tarouges coming out, flapping more, her lasso flying free. Things like that gives a lot more drama to this picture. Trying to see if I can't find her anything on her leggings, her boots. Only this one picture of her going across no man's land. Because those boots are really cool. And then we've got, of course, we've got her. There we go. And the boots actually look like they're armored past her knee. So they're going to come up like this on the armor. And have a strike through the middle of it. A metal plate. Like this. So yeah, they're not quite thigh high. They do go past her knee, but they're not quite thigh high. And that's the problem, is they're practical, but I'm not seeing them. At least I can get the top part with this picture. This is a little bit better. Yeah. Oh. So, let's go back here and fix this, because actually I kind of like what those look like better. So they're plates. It's kind of cool. Which puts a midline through each one of these like this. But it's plated. So there's a plate like this, a plate like this. Then they go around the back. There we go. Since her knee is twisted around, we're only going to get this plate and this plate like this, and this plate like that. And then this one's bent to match her knee. So it makes some sense. The armor here is going to be bent to match that knee. But then she's got this whole section back here is just metal. So let's go ahead and make that more dramatic. Pop that out a little bit more. Maybe push this up like this. And that plate here, and this plate here, and then this massive plate across there. Okay, that's how that works. And actually, looking at this, there's a gold trim along the bottom, like that, which is interesting. I'm looking at a promotion poster, and this gives a lot, it's a much higher resolution, higher detail version of her, and I can see that there is I want to almost say an alligator pattern to this barding up here. Almost like this interesting alligator pattern. Can't actually see, though, where her lasso assembles in. But I can see a lot of the barding or the scaling on this. I also find it extraordinarily fascinating how much damage they did to her armor when they weathered it, because they weathered it rather well. But there are cuts in her armor. All right, let's put this higher like this. And that puts this over like that. There we go, just like that. We're going to put that forward plate line all along here. She's got all those plates that go down her armor, or her Well, that's part of the problem right there, guys. So here's the thing that's interesting about this. Hello. And that's when my monitor decided to... Did you guys hear the beep-doop? We have this problem every so often. What I can do, though, is reactivate my tablet. There we go. There we go. All I need... Yep, the disconnect and reconnect sound. I don't know. My poor computer. Okay, moving right along here. What we've got on this, looking at this, is she's got this forward piece of metal on her boot. It's like this. Right? And then it comes up on this plate right here is fine, which goes around. But then this knee plate turns sideways. Turns inward, I guess. Turns inward. So that whenever we get up on top here, that's straight. That's fascinating. Like this. Right? And that's part of it. Alright, so we'll put this up here. And that's how this works. So she gets that shell effect when it goes up onto the upper part of her thigh, but across her, or the lower part of her thigh, I guess, across her knee, we just have this being this way. That's what it is. That's how it goes, like that. There. And then she gains another line right here, which goes nowhere. All right. Now, I will look at her hand. On her hand, these are fascinating. The greaves. Her greaves are really interesting, too. We're getting an analysis of Wonder Woman's armor here while we're doing this. The greaves come around, and they go sideways like this until they come up on her wrist. So they look like they've got a groove in the middle, which then comes up and almost touches right there. Right? So this, and then at the top, they've got 3 stripes and bands. And then we've got a gold line that runs like this. And a gold line that runs like this. And then here. And then the greaves have leather straps that come out of them. This on either side. I really enjoy being accurate. And I know it's kind of time consuming, but I really enjoy the accuracy. So go through and do that. And do this. There, now her greaves are... That greave is correct. Looks like she's also got a leather strap going across her wrist, like this. So I don't know if that's part of this, but it does look like she's got sort of a leather glove of some sort coming out like this. So I'm going ahead and depict that right through here. Then we'll put 1, 2, 3, and 4. And her thumb right here. So there we go. All right. Now when we talk about putting her fingers down to splay them out so that they're digging in, it's mostly because she needs to support her weight as the weight is moved this way. Her body is going to naturally support over on this side, so we've got to... This finger might be bent, but it's the only one. These guys are going to have stress on them. No matter which way we look at it, she's got stress on this finger. It's just getting pushed like this. And actually, this guy will be stressed out too. Might as well. I can't see any reason why her finger would be bent. It should be stressed. Pressure, hard pressure right here. Here we go. Just like that. Okay. Now when we look at this, we're getting a lot more of a picture of what this outfit and uniform looks like. And the details going in there. Then going on the other side here. I'm going to do this. Bring this. Tarouge down. We'll bring the tarouge down. I like that word, tarouge. It's a good word. So looking at the scaling on this side and everything, we're going to bring this forward. This one's out like that, and this one's out like this, and that one's just like that, and it's just a mess. Everything's getting messy here, right? All right. It's interesting that the shield has survived pretty much unscathed through this entire painting. I find that fascinating too. Okay, let's go on ahead and start seeing what damage we can do. Let's see what damage we can do here. Go into the flat brush, and I'm going to bring up. I'm going to start with tart. We're going to tart with a midtone. So let's go with a midtone here. I'm going to bring my brush size up quite a we're just going to go on ahead and define all of this. Right, we're just going to do this. Come out here, and we're just defining sort of the structure of this. Just get a, hey, we're going to look and see what this looks like as far as what space it takes up. Where is the shadow looks like of this. But B, it'll give us the beginning of something to work on with the paints. Let me come in here. So I'm just doing this. I'm just defining the zone, right? This is all we're doing here. Just kind of getting an idea of what the zone is on this. Down here. Make sure we don't forget our Tarouges. I like Tarouges. That's a name. Come back around the back here. Get this shield, right? The strategic homeland intervention. And, I think somebody just wanted to make the word shield. Still, one of the better humorous lines of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Love Daisy. She's cool. There we go. Move up like this for this. Out like that. There. Now we're getting an idea of the space that we've used up on this, right? We can now see what space has been taken up by this character. This gives us the ability to decide where is the heavy weight of the darkness of this picture going to be. And so what are we going to do with this area over here? It's light right here. Or do we care? We probably don't, because we're going to have her hair out like this too. So that actually adds to it. All right, now that we've done this, we say multiply. Actually don't. We say normal. And then we take you and put you on top, and we say multiply. And then we turn you down quite a bit. Wow. Because all we need to do is just get a guide. That's all we're looking for, is a guide, right? We're not looking for anything serious. We're looking for a guide. Okay? So let's go into here, and we're going to start with a warmer color and a smaller brush. I'm about to start putting this stuff in. We've already taken a look at what the big figure looks like. So now we're going to go in and try to do a lot less of the big pieces and more just catch the inside line of this. Gal Gadot has some serious cheekbones going for her. So we're going to do that. And again, like we were doing yesterday, let's check the planes of the face. We're just going to kind of go in here like this. And all we're really doing is just trying to define the area. Now, done this very much like an anime character, so we're going to have to trim down her eyes quite a bit. We're going to have to work on this. Because anime characters have huge eyes, real people don't. Right, so we're going to blend this in It's the light side of her face. Blend in her nose right through here. And do the bridge of the nose across here. There's probably some kind of like this. So we're going through here like so. There we go, just like this. And this medium color, I keep picking medium-er colors. It helps us kind of define this zone. There's another thing that really, one of the things we want to do is take a look at like medium colors and come through like this. And we're going to actually just go ahead and put this through here. We're going to talk about eyes being huge. Right? Even though she does have some strong cheekbones, she also has a pretty strong chin. So we're going to go through and do that. We'll get some color in through here. This is the darker side. It's shadowed by the shield, so we're going to have some shadow work that we're going to have to do through here because this part's shadowed in by the shield. Which will roll through like this on her body, on her face anyway. And then we'll come back up through here on this part of her face. And again, talk about the planes of her face. We talked about a little bit about planes of face yesterday. Now let's take a look at what we've got. Okay, so now that we've turned off the overlying layer, now I can start to look at this. The problem we've got here is that on the underdrawing, I think I did a little too much with the anime-esque eyes. So let's take a look at our underdrawing alone here. They look great as anime eyes, but they're not really, it's not really one of our better ideas, right? I mean, really what we should do here is reassess and do the eyes the way that they're supposed to be instead of guessing. So our eyes are going to come along this line right here. This is our decided line. So the nose is through here, and you're going to divide the face into quadrants. And that puts her eye only in this zone right here, and this eye in this zone. Right? And they're off. And they're off! So we're going to put her eye in this zone. Eye. There we go. Make sure that they're balanced. Always come back and resketch this stuff. Right? So here to here. There we go. So what I'm doing here is just straightening this eye out so that it's more like the human-sized eye, right? Not the anime-sized eye. Because it's not going to help us any to have an anime-sized eye on this superheroine. So let's go ahead and get a little closer. Bring this down. Don't be shy. We'll go ahead and cross across like this. Because of the angle of her face, looking at Gal Gadot, because of the angle of her face, these aren't lined up perfectly, and they won't be. Her face is turned. And so we're going to end up with something more like this on this side. Right? And this side will be like this. And we'll roll her eye over like this. She's getting. There we go. And Gal Gadot has brown eyes, which I personally appreciated that change in Wonder Woman. I find it interesting. But it also, I have always thought that a good portion of our population are brown-eyed people. Right? So, Kat, you joined me. We are attempting speed painting. We are not succeeding, but we are attempting it. We are speed painting Wonder Woman here. And we are, not doing so well. But that's okay. That's okay. Art is not always going to be me working on let's move this down. It's not always going to be me working on client stuff, I've decided. So we're going to be doing random things, and I need to learn to paint better, and I need to learn to get some better movement here on things. So better, not movement, but better, I don't know what I'm looking for. I feel like all of us sort of had problems with speed painting, but I'm having a problem right now with just the anatomy. I mean, speed painting aside, my anatomy is rough. So, I mean, just this is becoming kind of difficult. Although I do like those eyes. Those are working. So, we're going to go down onto the chin area here. Let's take a look at what we got. Right? If we go across the planes of her face, we're going to end up with the spot through here where we can define the mouth, right? Yeah, I feel like I do. I just need to every so often come back to basic anatomy 101 I think we all do. Basic Anatomy 101, and we need to do something that's out of our comfort zone and, and things like that. I feel like that needs to happen once in a blue moon. We can't just constantly be operating in our normal comfort zone. So I'm going through here, and Wonder Woman seemed like a good target for today. And I'm going to end up spending this entire show working on her anatomy. But that's okay. Sometimes it's just what you got to do. Right? So we're going to move across the plane of her face here like this. Talk about where her mouth is. So between the eye lines here, we've got two eye lines going on. We're crossing across the smooth part of here. We're going to make the planes of the lips. All right? Now the lips don't go all the way out here, although this is kind of comedic. We're actually just going to describe like this. And this gives us a little bit more of what's going on. The old, you draw one large circle and two little circle things, like that's definitely a way to do it. But I'm looking more at the planes of this. And we're got more like this going on here, because this is flattened out. Right at the filth room, it's going to be flattened out. Which that might help me a whole lot to draw that, because then I can come up and around it, just like that. You're going to have this, and then that, and then up and around. Come back around through there, and back. Work, work, work. And back. Work, work, work. Not horrible, but slightly too big. We'll come back and fix it. And it's moved forward too far. She actually does not have, her jaw is not that far forward. So it's adorable. It's fluffy. It's not the way this works. So we're going to shrink it down and move it back to there. Right? We'll come through here and fix the filth room. That needs to happen. By the way, happy birthday, Kat. I know you had your birthday recently. I know we were just talking last time you were here about the concept of you having finished the Tokyo Pop thing by your birthday. So I'm going to challenge you and say, did you finish the Tokyo Pop thing by your birthday? And, naturally, as all good friends, publicly humiliate you, because that's critical. This is important. That's how you know you're loved. It's when you're publicly humiliated by your friends. Right? So, give her more chin. Here, like this. And tilt this upward to match the plane of the face. Was it Tokyo Pop, or were you working? Who were you working? It wasn't Tokyo Pop. It was the manga competition you were working for. Shonen Jump. You were working for Shonen Jump. Or the thing you were doing for Shonen Jump. So I'm here to publicly humiliate you about Shonen Jump. But in a good way, because I need you to, I want you to succeed. I need you to succeed, man. I need you to succeed. I need somebody here who needs to succeed. So we got to succeed. All of us got to succeed. So, yeah, I'm ink and tone. Zipatone. Zipatone. It's the bestest stuff on the planet. And wow. Well, okay. But didn't you want... Yep, Brent, I totally succeed at sleeping. No, actually I don't. I was going to say, I too succeed at sleeping. No, I don't. I actually fail at sleeping a lot. I spend a lot of time being not sleeping. All right. So I'm flattening out her mouth more. I'm going to put the depressors down on her smile here because we don't want her. She's not smiling. She's not happy about being hit with a mortar shell. This is not a happy thing for her. She could take it because she's a superhero. But she's not happy about it. So depressors down. Here we go. Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember what we were... I don't know what we were talking about. We were talking about something. Seems like we were having a discussion about something there on that one. I don't know. Anyway. Well, I'm glad that you're moving along. Like I said, we all some of us have... Somebody here has to succeed. Okay. Anyway, it was a month and a half ago. What do we know, right? We can't remember anything. We're artists. We don't remember stuff. That's not our job. Oh, man. Okay. Now I feel like her mouth is lopsided up here. So we're going to unlopside it. There we go. Just a fraction, just a hair. Yeah, me too. Me too. All right. Now, we have spent an hour and 40 minutes on the artwork of this. Redoing it and building it in and redoing the anatomy on this. I say this because I'm pretty sure I could have done the pose of this in like 5 in DAZ. And it's still bothering me. I mean, this is still kind of bugging me. I'm having a problem with my anatomy on this one. I'm not getting it straightened out. I feel like things are off kilter. So let's go on ahead and do a quick check on the anatomy. Do. I have loaded 72 trillion things up on my computer at this point. So here's what we're going to do. Give me just a moment here. Go back to camera. Give me just a moment here, and I will come back to this here. But first, what we're going to do, we're going to take a look at Poser, well, or DAZ Studio, as the case may be. I'm going to take a look at DAZ Studio here. And I'm going to load a Genesis 2 female bass, which should be like doll, whatever, like a Barbie doll. So that I'm going to make sure that there's no naughty bits before this comes up on here. Duplicate formulas. Yes, 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 I know. It's because it's a thing. So, I don't know if we have a pose that's appropriate to at least start with. I'm going to take a look, see if I've got a pose that I can start with that would be useful, and then I'll turn my screen on to you guys so you can see what we're doing over here. But I have already gotten yes, I have. I've gotten things moved over to a better drive, but I still need to replace the drive. So we've got kind of a thing that needs to. It's getting. This drive's getting. Everything here is getting long in the tooth. So there's definitely going to be a need to do this soon. I feel like the closest we have is you, at least to start. Okay, I'll clear the zones. I don't need to clear that. And then I'll share this screen. Oh, yeah. It's not a matter of resources. It's a matter of time. That's our biggest problem. Is time. Okay, so now I'm working on this guy right here. Here's what we're doing. I'm going to bring up Daz, and I'm going to try to match this pose. Okay, so we're going to come along here. We're going to see if we can't match the pose, because I want to check this anatomy. I started with the closest pose that I have appropriate to it. I really don't have a lot in the way of the pose ability here. So let's do this. There we go. That's what I need. I need all of my widgets. So we know that she's taking the hit in the arm right here. So let's bend her body so that she can take that hit, right? Move her arm out like this. And move this arm out like that. And then move that hand up, right? So with this, we can move the hip forward. Feel like the hip's disconnected from the body there. Thank you so much. We'll go ahead and just, and then this guy, move him back. I'll see you tomorrow, friend. And besides, we're into Poser now, or Daz. I'm really 100% sure that that's necessarily the most exciting thing ever. But as you watch this pose here, I'm gonna so when it starts bending like this, things are wrong. There we go. So the other thing is, we've got this guy turned this way, and he's moving, not this way necessarily, but moving this way, across her body, right? And this guy turned this way, and she sort of goes down on this knee. Wham. Now, from this side, what I really want to do is roll the whole body forward, because that's really what we're looking at here. Like this, right? Because that's really where we are. You want the stress of this hit through that part of her body. So, that angle, let's bring her up. Like this. Bring this leg forward. And that leg down. And now I can already see part of what's going on with my anatomy. Doesn't go any further this way. I'll twist that. Now I can already see problems with this anatomy. Which this has helped me a lot. Which is what we use these for, right? Now I'm getting that sort of bend out of this and forward. Like she's reaching down. And there we go. This is what I think I was after. Except I feel like she was cringing. So we want her head sort of... I am such a poser. There you go. And if I really want to, I can turn her eyes to one side. And this will help me a lot. And then they need to be up. Right? She is definitely down on one knee like this. And I find now, looking at this, the picture that I made, if you look now at these, the pose that we've got here, we can even bring it in more. But we look at it, and okay, the Daz maquette is not doing a perfect job here. Right? Bring that thumb in. There we go. The maquette's not perfect on this one, certainly, but I can already see that we've got a problem with this. That needs to be resolved. This almost looks like she's pulling a bow at this point in time. Let's bend this. Like that. There we go. Right? This looks more like she's taking a hit on the shield. And I think she needs to bend down like this and side to side like this a little bit. And this hand can splay out. Like that. It needs to be aiming down. And so, in the span of time that we spent an hour and 45 minutes building this pose and looking at them side to side, or side by side, if we were to kind of look at these two particular things, you just looked at that. This is hard to do. Got lots of things going all over the place. I look at this pose. And then we look at this pose. And I'm less dynamic with this pose. I can already see that just looking at this arm right here, it needs to be out more like this, and out this way. This leg needs to be further out this way. You know, everything already looks less structurally sound. I wonder, we could just take this guy right here and just say Control Print Screen. Go over here and say Control Paste. Right? Not only can we now see side by side what needs to happen here. A much more dramatic presentation of this. Right? Yes, you're a cat. My cat has walked into the room here. You're still a cat. I'm not doing scritches right now. We're on a show. Scritches after show. It's a thing. It's a rule. So there we go. Much more dramatic on when using the DAZ Studio model. See a lot more of what needs to happen here. Now, the only other thing is, looking at my DAZ Studio model, obviously, she doesn't look like she's actually underweight, like she needs to be. Well, I don't know. That's not bad from the side. But we should definitely fix the foot. But from the side, she actually looks like she's probably taking this like a champ, and it looks good. I'm going to twist this foot and then bend it out. There we go. Much more like it needs to be. There we go. I'm adjusting the Poseroid, or the I've forgotten what I'm adjusting the DAZ model to fit more, a little bit better. I'm just cleaning up this pose, right? So we can bring this in, bring it up. And she's the center of this entire piece, so we're okay with that. Let's bring that out a little bit more and bring this down a little bit more, and then we can move it from side to side like that, thus not making it so weird. But looking at the model from the side, it fits, right? You can see that being the force is here. She's got everything on her body is rolling this way across her body. So this foot being down, the weight's going to be here, at least starting to be here. Looking at the way that this body is set up, we're at the right structure. I feel like we could probably roll her forward just a little bit more like this. Put more of the straight weight right down on this knee. More like that. Right? I think this is more what we're looking for. Right here. Aesthetically, it puts her splayed hand in this nice little nook right here of her leg. And that makes it just much more aesthetically pleasing. I'll raise it up just a hair and rotate down just like this and over. Now what we can also do is create a new primitive. The primitive's over here. Gotcha. And just give... Wow, that's a big primitive. Cylinder, we'll scale it down. I didn't have a problem with this in the original drawing, but might as well use the benefit while we've got it, right? New camera. This camera, then I can go in to cameras and change its focal length. Comics are usually at like 25. They're super dramatic, right? I mean, we've got like epic drama on these. Maybe not that drama though. Let's bring her back. 35. 35 millimeter is the normal camera length and lens length. So this will be where this camera is and lives. And this way we can use the default camera to do things like move this shield to her shoulder, because we'll need to do that. Which is good because we should check this one too for my anatomy and everything. You want to kind of make sure that, for example, does that look the same? And it doesn't. It actually does not. So this needed to be checked as well. There we go. Okay, well, gentle beings, we have gone and checked the anatomy on my drawing and found it lacking. But we knew that. We knew that there was going to be something weird about my anatomy, and we knew that there was going to be something strange about what was going on. Always, that's one of the reasons. And for me, what we drew was accept people. If they had drawn that, it still would have been just fine. But I felt that the anatomy just didn't work, and it was driving me crazy. Clearly, we spent 2 hours just fiddling with anatomy. And the check over here with this, with the Poseroid, clearly shows that I was off on my anatomy by a lot. And so it makes for a good pre-drawing, but doesn't make for a very good final drawing. So there's that. So we're working on this. We're getting there. So what I'll probably do tomorrow is we got to do a couple of other things tomorrow where we work on client work and stuff like that, just so we can keep moving on the client work. But we're going to keep coming back to Wonder Woman here. We now know who we're working with and what we're doing. So we're going to keep working on this until I get the painting stuff figured out. So that'll work. Anyway, so we are out of time for today. It's now 12 o'clock. I appreciate you guys joining me, and I really do appreciate you having you being with me on the show, and especially like visiting with me and having coffee with me this morning. And I'm out of coffee, which is, means more coffee. So anyway, appreciate you guys being aboard, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Thank you.